And even the base Model 3 will do 0 to 60 miles an hour or 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in less than 6 seconds. At Tesla, we don't make slow cars. Okay, do you want to see the car? Yeah! Well, we don't have it for you tonight. I'm just kidding, of course. It's April Fool's somewhere. All right, let's bring them out. If there's ever sort of a apocalyptic scenario of some kind, hypothetically, you just press the bioweapon defense mode button. This is a real button. Yeah, we're trying to be a leader in apocalyptic defense scenarios. So actually, what's important here is, survives a nuclear explosion, or you get a full refund. Okay, full refund. It'll be the biggest building in the world, biggest single building in the world by footprint, and second only in volume to the Boeing factory in Washington State.
It's really, really huge. And if you sort of think of something that maybe you're familiar with, like a 747, that's pretty big, right? Well,
right.
We can fit about 100 747s parked in the footprint of this building.
Yeah, and I mean, not only that, I mean, we can fit 50 billion hamsters. So this is a roof that's going to be better looking than a normal roof. It's going to last practically forever. Like I wanted to have an infinite year warranty, but then the finance department said, well, that's difficult to account for. So I said, well, okay, it's infinite or when your house falls down, whichever comes first. Really fundamental message that consumers should be taking today is that it's financially insane to buy anything other than a Tesla. It'll be like owning a horse in 3 years. I mean, fine if you want to own a horse, but you should go into it with that expectation. I went to, speaking of crazy things, went to Russia 3 times to negotiate a deal to buy a couple of the largest ICBMs in the Russian fleet. A strange experience.
How do you even get into that negotiation?
Well, you talk to people who know people, and pretty soon you're talking to the Russian rocket forces, and they. It turns out Russia's quite a capitalist society.
What would be your mediocre superpower? An example of a mediocre superpower would be, one of the best ones we've ever gotten is this guy who wished to temporarily detach his arm while spooning with a girl. Sometimes it's staying.
That's what he wants to do with a girl?
You're talking about a humans on this rocket going to Mars?
Sure, yeah.
So, are there any dangers? I have read that there are radiation.
Are there dangers?
What could possibly go wrong? That's ridiculous. Come on.
Hi, Elon. I'm John Younger, and I have to say,
pour some more wine here.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you, this is going to get better and better as the.
It is.
But then after we had the Model S and Model X, I thought it'd be pretty funny if we had the Model E, But then, like, Ford threatened to sue us. Ford killed sex. Franz, could you try to break this glass, please? Sure? Yeah. Oh, my God. Well, maybe that was a little too hard.
Should we try the beer?
Sorry? Okay. It didn't go through, so that's a plus side.
Let's try the beer.
Try that one, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, man.
It didn't go through. All right. Not bad. Room for improvement. We did actually throw everything. We threw wrenches. We threw everything. We even literally threw the kitchen sink at the glass, and it didn't break. For some weird reason, it broke now. I don't know why. Just fix it in post.
I think within the next year, we'll be able to land the rocket intact. We'll be able to land the rocket, just not intact.
If you could take one person to Mars, who would it be?
But we're not like have to populate the planet or
No,
anything.
no, you don't.
Someone extremely fertile.
So let's go back to another bet that you made with yourself, I guess. I mean, a kind of crazy bet. You made some money from the sale of PayPal. You decided to build a space company. Why on earth would someone do that?
Got that question a lot, that's true. People would say, did you hear the joke about the guy who made a small fortune in the space industry, and he, obviously started with a large one as the punchline. And so I tell people, well, I was trying to figure out the fastest way to turn a large fortune into a small one. And they'd look at me like, oh, is he serious?
Thank you for anyone who's bought our flamethrower. You will not be sorry, or maybe you will. It won't be boring.
Related anecdote that we went on a date. All I was talking about was electric cars. That was not a winning conversation.
So it was a bit of a monologue, was it?
Yeah, she said the first question I asked her was, "Do you ever think about electric cars?" She said, no, she never does.
So you learn from that. That wasn't the best shout-out line.
Wasn't great. But it has recently it's been more effective.
What is your thought on how to approach new industries, innovative areas, and when's the right time to jump in or not? Or do you just, is there no crystal ball, or is it a crystal ball or a Ouija board? I mean, how do you figure out what you should go after?
Well, definitely the Ouija board, of course. Much more reliable than the crystal ball.
Yeah, I was being accused of being, an idiot, a charlatan, an idiot and a charlatan, like not even a good charlatan.
Then something I'd like to do, which I think many of our engineers will be hearing this in real time, is have the charge connector plug itself in. Like an articulating, like a sort of a snake, like Metal Gear Solid or something.
Well, first of all, I should say I'm a big fan of NASA. In fact, at one point, my password was "I love NASA."
Everyone in this room is inspired by you. Who are you inspired by?
Well, Kanye West, obviously.
There was a friend of mine I was talking to this friend of mine this weekend, and he said, "When's the last time you had a vacation where you didn't do work for a week?" And I was like, "Well, maybe like year 2000, when I had malaria."
You're obviously thinking about, lots of things, but when you play games, are you satisfied, or are there things that frustrate you about games? What do you want to see games do in the future?
I don't know if I should say.
Yeah. You working on a game too?
No.
Okay.
No. But I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, like, a bit more R-rated. I don't know.
Okay.
So for whatever reason, I didn't get a reply from Netscape, and I actually tried hanging out in the lobby, but I was too shy to talk to anyone, so I was just like standing in the lobby. And then I just walked in. Did you have your resume with you, or was it? Yeah, actually, it was pretty embarrassing. I was just sort of standing there, trying to see if there's someone I could talk to, and then I just couldn't. I was too scared to talk to anyone, so then I left.
There have been 3 flights so far, and each one has obviously the goal is to get into orbit. Each one has sort of not made it. How did you deal with the?
Well, we got to space.
Okay, you got to space, but it didn't. You didn't get where you wanted to go.
Not all the way.
Sorry.
Well,
So, but
you don't necessarily go all the way on the first few dates.
SpaceX has.
Actually, I mean, there's sometimes a debate about going to Mars one way and whether that makes things easier. And I think for the initial flights, perhaps, but for long term, to get the cost down, you need the spacecraft back. Whether the people come back is irrelevant. But you must have the ship back, because those things are expensive. You hear all these rebuttals, like, aren't there all these problems on Earth that we need to deal with, and shouldn't we focus on that? And the answer is yes. I mean, our primary focus should be problems on Earth, but I think that there should be some small amount that's given over to the establishment of a colony on Mars and making life multiplanetary. By small amount, I mean some number less than 1% of our resources. So, it's not as important as say healthcare, but it's more important than, like, say, cosmetics. I mean, I'm in favor of cosmetics. I like them; they're great. But lipstick or colony on Mars, I don't.